ジョーの野郎。鬼姫が完全にぶっ潰しやがって。
Oh my god. Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host. Joe's about to learn there's a big difference between jail and prison, and today we have Ashita no Joe, episode 8. So we saw the direct consequences of the verdict, Joe being his usual flippant self, not taking it seriously, and of course, they threw the book at him. Gave him 1 year and 1 month jail time in an actual jail, not just, like a little youth holding facility. He's going to actual prison now, and it's something he's not quite prepared for, I think. You saw that one big guy that tried to attack him when he was, in that holding facility. Very, very scared of the fact that they're going to an actual prison this time, and it's like this little setup on this island. The guy was, freaking out, talking about how they kill people there, and it's like serious, and you don't know what you're talking about. Joe trying to dismiss it like it's nothing, like he usually does, just, play it off, even though I think he really is scared. I think Dangpei will still continue to write letters to him, even though, Joe blew him off. I don't think Dangpei is the type of person to just give up. And even though, he's probably very disheartened with how Joe reacted, I think he's just going to plow right through. Next lesson he needs to learn is that right straight. He's got the left jab and he needs the right straight. I think it's going to come in very handy for his time in actual, prison on that island. But yeah, I'm going to guess that it's probably going to be a rough go for Joe, and the only, salvation before him might be boxing. This might be where he finally fully turns to it in order to, get him out of there and keep himself alive. He made that vow that he's going to get out of there no matter what he has to do, and I think boxing is a really good vehicle to do just that. But yeah, the only way to find out is just to find out, so yeah, that's what we're going to do. But before we begin, as always, remember to blank, blank, and blank. Channel's doing awesome. We're still very much a small channel, so every like, comment, share, subscribe that we can get really helps out. I really appreciate it. Patreon link down below. With that, let's get right to it. Toko High Security Juvenile Prison. Yeah, big boy's scared.
Oh, 結構なお城じゃねえかい。はあ、おや、いよいよ敵陣に入って腰でも抜けたか。この薄気味の悪い静けさはなんだ。
新しいお客さん。
特にお前には注意をしておくが、くれぐれも夢だけは見るんじゃないぞ。
夢？
シャバの夢、脱走のことだよ。老婆心までに教えといてやろう。それも切り立った断崖絶壁だから登り降りはできん。海へ飛び込めば岩で頭をぶち砕くのはオチだ。余震は運よくこの少年院から抜け出したとしてもだ。本土に渡る船は10日に一度きり。それもわしらが出港のたびに厳重にチェックをするし。
There's no way out.
あ、面白いや。夢だの不可能だの言われりゃ、俺はなおさらやってみたくなってね。
ただその計画が発覚しただけでもお前たちの収容期間は厳しく延長される。特等少年院の臨時ときたいな。さっさと引いて寝てしまえ。どうか待ってよ。ジョー、どないしよう。みんな起きはったら。
バカ野郎、寝よう。ほいと。
先輩の足踏まんように気ぃつけていな。
何？
なあ、ジョー、頼むよっておとなしく寝てくれへんか。空見起きはった。
騒ぐなよ。どうせこいつら最初から起きてやがったんだ。なあ、どうだろう。
こいつらが
はったりにせよ、俺たちをこいつら呼ばわりするた立派な度胸だぜ。
問われてなろるもおこがましいが、そんじゃま一つ聞かしてやるぜ。
バカジョーのドアホ
生まれて父の名も知らず、優しい母の顔知らず、世をすねぐれて15年。重なる脱走十数回だ。ガキの頃からパンチが強く、ご意見無用の県外一代。マスコミ利用し世間からせしめた黄金100万両。
He's about to become a celebrity in here.
裁きの結果が島送り、ついたところが野木久島。東高特等少年院と無法無頼の矢吹城太、俺のこったと、まあ
The
ざっ
renegade.
とこんなところだかな。お分かりかな諸君。
バカトンチキ招きのドアホお前は知らん
Here it comes.
おい来たおやすみ気を失ったぜ二人とも。
これぐらいのことで我々に挨拶すんだと思うなよ。
He's imagining himself in the ring.
ほらジョーしっかりしろ立てジョー立て
Is he gonna wake up?
立たんかジョー。
Oh, it's Dangpei's dream.
夢か演技でもねえ
夢見ただけさ。
夢
夢たら同じ夢を何度も見るんだ。今日の兄貴がぶっ殺される夢なんてさ、二度と見たくないもんね。
何おめえもか
うん。
その境目を二人が一緒に見たんだきっと何かジョーにいいことがあったに違えね
ほんと、そんならもうあの夢なんか怖くないわね。
けえくそったれめえうわ大変だ見ろいねえぞ何あんな野郎昨日は確かにここに伸びてたんだぜおい天井でも行きやがったのかなこのデブはこうして伸びてるのによやいデブ起きろあいててててじゃねえやいチビの野郎はどこ行った
バカなこと聞くんじゃねえよ。幽霊じゃあるまいし、生身の人間がそう簡単に消えてたまるけ。
この野郎。
便所
He beat the shit out of 10 guys. Took their beds and then stuffed them in there. Oh my god.
お前さんは計り知らないおもろらしい。ワイヤもガタガタ言わん。この恐ろしい少年院でどんなどえらいことをしでかすか見とったる。
第六には何をぐずぐずやってるかお前たちさっさと部屋の掃除をして食堂へ整列せんかもたもたしてると朝食抜きだぞ早くせんか早くやめ
やるか。
おい一挙完成せちょっと来ておくんなあれ大変だろ大急ぎで来てくれ何事かね
ここの部屋の連中は布団上げも便所掃除も全部新入りにやらせる言うてますね。
Yeah, put on a good act.
あの野郎誰だ。
Who the hell is that?
ギンギラギンの目してこっちを見てやがる。やけに気になる野郎だぜ。
Do we have like a potential rival for Joe?
明日を目指して立ち上がる立つんだジョー子守歌はリングにゃないぜ立たなきゃ
Okay, it took some time just to gather my thoughts. So we see that Joe and Nishi, the big guy who originally beat him up, have arrived at the island together. You know, they're being shown how horrible this place is when they're first introduced to the cell block they're put in. Of course, they get jumped at night, outnumbered, and get beaten up. But Joe can't sleep after the beating, so he wakes up during the middle of the night and fights some of the other guys that are in there. Beats up 10 of them and then stuffs them in the bathroom And when everybody wakes up in the morning, he's laying on 10 futons, just in the best spot possible. And, they all want to beat him up again, but then the guards show up to take them to breakfast. Nishi is a really big guy, but he's like terrified of being here, and Joe is just not bothered by it at all, at least not yet anyway. Joe got told point blank even talking or hinting about escaping will, get more time added onto his sentence. And one night here, after those guys jumped him, he's already, planning his escape with Nishi. I think Joe can, for the most part, handle, the other guys in the cell. It's just they got the drop on him because it was, pitch black. But we saw at the very end of the episode, Joe might have a rival. Don't know the guy's name, just saw him very briefly, but he was staring at Joe when they were in the mess, eating breakfast. And yeah, this guy seems a little bit more physically imposing, so we might have, the beginnings of Joe's rival in this place, someone that can actually potentially match him, one-on-one physically, because the guy looks pretty big and pretty strong, and he was, not bothered at all by Joe's presence or, anyone else for that matter. We saw that Dangpei was even, dreaming of Joe, losing a fight and, him screaming out to hold on. And he's not the only one that had that dream. The young girl, Sachi, she had the same dream as well of Joe, getting beat up, and, it concerned her enough to, wander out there in the middle of the morning. They haven't given up on him, and I think that's the main thing going forward. But yeah, it was another really good episode, and honestly, I just want to get right to the next one. So, as always, thanks for watching, and peace.